Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you to the December 19th, 2024 Equal Opportunity Review Commission meeting. We will start the meeting, we'll start the meeting off by pausing and taking the roll call, please.
Good afternoon, commissioners. Good to see you in person, most of you in person. So if you can say, please say yes or present. Commissioner Conley.
Present.
Commissioner Dr. Hall.
Present.
Commissioner Lewis.
Present.
Commissioner Dr. Jenny Sweet Cushman. Commissioner Sarah Siegel. Commissioner Ms. Barnett.
Present.
Commissioner Angela Williams.
Present.
Commissioner Baltroff.
Present.
Commissioner Yusro. Commissioner Sota.
Present.
Commissioner here. Commissioner Nina Gibbs, she will be joining us hopefully next month. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move the meeting over to Commission Chair Conley to approve the November minutes.
Can I get a motion to approve the November minutes?
I move to approve the minutes from November 2024.
Can I get a second?
A second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye. Motion passes, minutes are accepted. We're going to start right with our first project of the day, and that is a City of Pittsburgh. Oh, sorry. Commission Chair, I'm sorry. Can you ask for public comment? We didn't have any signs up. Yes.
We're going to take a second to ask for any public comment. Okay, since there isn't any, we can move on to the first plan.
Okay, we're going to move on to the first plan, and it's a city plan. It's from the Finance Department, and it's professional auditing services. I know we have people on the line for this, so I'm going to turn it back over to you, Commissioner Chair Conley.
Okay, who do we have on the line for, from the city for the project? Anybody from Meyer Dussel?
Hi, I'm here, Brian McCall from Mardissel, and then Michelle Hoke is on here as well, also from Mardissel, and Francine Cameron is the subcontractor. She is also on the call.
Okay, well, we're pleased with your numbers. You did a great job of getting the participation. I see that WB and MBE is from the Cameron group on either side of that. And does anybody have any questions for the Camerons or our gentleman here, Nathan from Meyer Dussel? Anybody on virtual, any commissioners on virtual that have questions?
We're on mute, Commissioner Belfort.
No, I'm well pleased with what I read. Thank you.
Okay. All right, then can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the plan.
Second. All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes. We can move on to the next one. Executive Services and Recruitment Services, Housing Authority. We have Brandon on the line. Hi, Brandon.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for having us, commissioners. I also have Ms. Beresfield on the line as a representative for Gaines and Gans. We did an RFP for executive search and recruitment for some high-level positions that are vacant at the Housing Authority, and Gaines and Gans Group was determined to be the highest scoring, most responsive and responsible offerer. It's for positions like currently we have a Chief Development Officer vacancy, so that would probably be the first task order that they are given. I would assume it could be a big assumption on my part, but I don't think so. And they are certified in Florida as a dual MBE, WBE, but you know, since you can't claim both, we use the MBE to kind of bolster the numbers.
What does that mean? Bolster over the numbers.
Is the MBE is
Because it's 93% for an MBE versus only 82% for a WBE.
WB, and we can't split the baby.
Okay,
We have to
and
choose
it's-
one or the other.
And we accept the MBEs from other states.
Yes. Yes,
But we do
They're
prefer,
certified.
they do.
we prefer Pennsylvania,
Companies.
Pittsburgh, Western Pennsylvania, preferably.
Yes.
Anyway, that can be subcontracted to a MBE in Pennsylvania. Is there any way that any part of this can be, offered to a subcontractor, or MBE or WBE here in, say, Allegheny County?
It was open to the public. Any entity based out of anywhere within the US had an opportunity. We selected Gans and Gans because they have a unique niche ability to find quality individuals with a vast array of housing experience for different agencies across the country. So I mean the opportunity was there. The Gans and Gans firm was the highest scoring offer to the RFP.
Will they be doing any type of concentration on filling those positions from Allegheny County or, Western Pennsylvania? Or are they looking at, again, nationwide, and then we bring someone in from another state for the housing authority?
Well, the position itself will be a local position, so it would be, they would have to show up in person to work, so they would have to.
They'd have to move.
Yes, they would be if
I mean,
if
they
they,
have to.
The certain,
Okay,
yeah,
all right. We just have so many professional people in that area. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, this isn't in regards to who they actually hire. This is the firm that's going to do the evaluations for who would be awarded the positions.
Right, I was just asking if there was any type of concentration, on this particular region. Rather than bringing somebody from, California, yes, they have. to live
Sure.
here.
so a couple points if I may touch on. So one is we are legally unable to provide regional preferences in procurements, and when the position is hired, they will have to report to the headquarters here in Pittsburgh. So if it is a qualified individual that happens to currently live in California, they will have to relocate to do that duties here within Pittsburgh for the Pittsburgh Housing Authority.
All right, does anybody else have any questions or comments for the group?
If I can just confirm, so they will be doing all of your recruitment. This isn't just for a set amount of time. They will be conducting all of your recruitment and contract staffing, et cetera, correct?
No, this is only specifically for executive level
Executive level.
positions,
Okay.
right? Think like C-suite level vacancies. So, I mean, she probably doesn't want to hear this, but ideally, we're going to use her this one time, and then we don't have any vacancies for the rest of the contract. But, such as the world is today,
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Sure.
Can I get a motion?
Commissioner Hall, motion to approve.
Can I have a second?
Can newbies have a second?
Yeah, sure.
Second.
All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye, raising your hand. Aye. Okay.
Okay, plan passes. Thank you, guys. We'll move on to the next one, Brandon. The next one is the Ford vehicle fleet maintenance.
Ford vehicle fleet maintenance. Yes, I believe I have Brian Cook, who is the fleet manager for Woolton Wind Ford. So our fleet for the housing authority vehicles is started to age out of its useful life. We are in the process of replacing our vehicles. Currently, our average age is 10 years, which is quite a long time to have a vehicle, especially with some of the new regulations as far as energy efficiency. And the fact that with Build America, Buy America, there's only so many vehicles that comply with that Executive Order Act. So we have been purchasing mostly Ford vehicles off of the PA state contract, and Woolton Wind Ford is going to be providing oil changes and maintenance and warranty repairs and warranting the vehicles that we're actually buying from them. But due to the volume of the vehicles that are being replaced, this contract, which we've had for several years, has now eclipsed the threshold that needs to come to you for review. If that makes sense.
Did it have to come to us?
It's over 300, it's over 200.
Oh, okay. Well, I understand the specificity of it, that if you're gonna purchase it from Wilson Lane Ford, that it makes sense to have them do the repairs and warranty upgrades and that sort of thing. Does anybody have any questions for them regarding this? There's zero participation, only because it's not something that can be split up and subbed out.
They also
I
use
think
a
if it
certified-
wasn't over the threshold, it wouldn't even have came in
And they
front of
have to
us,
use
you
a
know?
certified.
Because this is more of a service. This is
It
more
has to
of
have
a-
a certified Ford dealer, correct?
Yeah.
And due to the fact that we've been going there. So this was done as a competitive procurement. We did an IFB. They also, in addition to selling us the vehicles, we did this separate to try to see if there's an opportunity, and they were the lowest responsible bidders. So
Were there any minority or women-owned Ford dealerships in the area?
I don't believe there are. None came up when we did our search.
Okay,
That's the crux of the matter.
Yeah.
yeah,
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
thank you. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Raising your hand.
Aye.
Plan passes. Thank you.
Passes, thanks.
Okay,
All
we'll
right,
go.
Brandon, you're still on
We're
here.
still on for our final plan of the day is, the moving service.
League services, yes. So from time to time, the housing authority will need to relocate its residents. Oh, I'm drawing a blank here in front of everybody. I'm sorry. There are in Bedford, for example, we're redeveloping, so a lot of those tenants would need to be moved to other locations and then brought back when the remodel is completed. This is also a contract that we've haven't had to procure. Well, I mean, we've always procured it, but it hasn't been to the volume it is now, due to some of the relocations that are coming. And so now it's eclipsed the threshold. This was a competitive IFB, so that means it was going to be awarded to the lowest responsible bidder. We have two firms we're presenting to today, Dawn Farr Moving and Storage, and we have Metro Moving and Storage. There were multiple bidders, believe 5 total. There was an MBE bidder, but they were significantly higher than the rest. And, we can't leapfrog and go with higher bidders. That is, we just don't have that flexibility as a government entity. I know Dawn Farr is actually committed to hiring about 50 residents under this contract, which is a tremendous, for us, it would be a success if we're able to place that many residents. And I believe they have reached out. I did talk with Chuck. He pointed me in the direction of several entities that can do maintenance on like lift gates and that sort of thing. But David, if you want to talk about it, you can. But as I understand, you guys have to lease your trucks and have to use their preferred suppliers as part of your lease agreement.
So we do have lease vehicles. We do have some of our own vehicles, and we did reach out to the vendors and made connections with them about trying to use it. Some of the vendors that were listed as minority businesses, they were concerned they would not be able to assist because of the equipment being specialty, right? Large trucks, diesel. However, there was a locksmith that we're always running into guys losing keys and things like that we are committed to using. And as you guys add additional businesses, we're here to work with you guys. If you don't mind, Brandon, I'd love to touch on the hiring. We're looking forward to working with anybody at any of the facilities. Yes, we are committed to hiring about 50 residents if possible. We've had a hard time filling all of our employment roster for the past couple of years. So we are committed to having an aggressive program, working hand in hand with you guys to bring on employees. Typically in the summer, we have 75 to 100 employees, and we're here to be a partner.
And also on the call, I have Mr. Boyd, who is the owner of Metro Moving and Storage. He as of this morning, he was continuing to do outreach to some of the same suppliers and other vendors that submitted. He just a little bit before this call, I hadn't had a chance to provide it to you, I believe. If you want to talk about it, Thomas, I know you reached out to a couple vendors that ended up being a little bit more costly than what you had already been provided. So if you want to introduce yourself and talk to the group.
Hi, I'm Tom from Metro Moving. I reach out to two minority moving contractors in the area. The first one that I spoke to, he had set in on the pre-bid meeting on the initial pre-bid, not the rebid, but the initial pre-bid. And after he set in on it, he said, he didn't think it was worth his time. Then we started talking numbers as far as, his prices versus my prices. He's way higher than me. So he was like, well, I'm way so much higher than you, blah, blah, blah. I really don't have time for it, and I have a lot of other things going on. But I did reach out to another minority moving contractor, Self Relo LLC, and had a lot more success with her and her company. As we have been talking and emailing, she's very interested in doing some subcontracting under me, because I don't know how much you guys know about me, but I run one crew to keep things safe and the ratings high, so to speak. So she's willing to to subcontract under me. They've got, I think she said four trucks. They can provide some crews. She's willing to subcontract under me. I gave her the parameters, as far as the prices for, the no truck end of the contract, the efficiencies, the 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, stuff like that. Also the truck end of the contract, same thing, efficiencies, ones, twos, packing, unpacking, stuff like that. So she got back to me on with the prices for that. She is in agreement to, if I get the contract, to, enter into, a subcontracting agreement, which I will, draw up. I've got to be additionally insured on their policy, you know, outlining that they're going to be a subcontractor, all those things that is pertinent to a subcontracting agreement. But I've got a very positive, you know, uh, conversation. And I think that we're going to be, but like I said, I sent only this morning, I apologize for being late with it, but only this morning I sent you a copy of the emails of, that we've been moving back and forth. And I think we've got a very positive thing going on here where we'll be able to partner and get a lot of things done in a positive way.
All right, I have a couple questions for you, Thomas. Well, first of all, for Brandon, how is this contract split up? How much of the contract does Metro Moving and Storage have?
So based off of the dollar, so it's like a task order based.
Yeah.
They can have up to 50% of it
Oh, okay.
or more. It's not set that Don Farr gets up to X. It's not set up that way. So it's going to be as needed.
Who's
And
available?
the workload will dictate. Both vendors have been working for the housing authority for a number of years. I know, Thomas, you've been doing it for close to 15 years, I think, moving for the housing authority.
Actually, Brendan, I've been doing it since 1998.
Oh, wow.
Since 1998.
So
Yeah.
Thomas, you're certified?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not certified. Elaine is. Self Relo LLC. They're a minority certified entity.
That's the subcontractor that you've been just talking about?
That is. Yes, it is.
Okay, so she's certified.
Yes, she is.
All right, well, you've been working with the housing authority since the nineties. I don't know why you haven't gotten your certification. That would really have cleaned this up quite a bit.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
can we just, I'm sorry, can't we confirm, and I thought it was confirmed before, that primes don't have to be certified?
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, I was gonna say that.
All right.
Yes,
That's
that's
correct.
right. Exactly. I was gonna say that.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's correct.
That is correct. That's right.
I mean, for other jobs, perhaps if you came in as a sub, it would be in your benefit to be certified, but for purposes of this particular contract, being the prime, there's no need for him to be certified.
That's a conversation.
Yeah,
that-
so there's no, we cannot, I don't think any entity can require a prime to be certified. I mean, we can
Okay.
really use, aggressively search out certified firms and try to work with them to become primes. But in this instance, neither firm is certified.
It's not an issue now that I know that. I just clicked on that. Okay.
I have a question,
Sure.
for the Dawn Farr representative here. You stated, sir, that you look to hire 50 residents within the, authority system, for lack of a better word, residents, right? So, and you also said that you've had this contract in the past. Did I understand that correctly?
Correct. Our goal is to hire as many residents as we can. We've had a real need for bringing on additional employees, and we're willing to work with, whoever. If there's a specific contact at each building, if there's somebody within your commission that you think we could work with, we're in a need for employees right now. I'm running ads, and we're a larger company. We have several contracts. We work with the City of Pittsburgh Housing Authority. We also work with Allegheny County Housing Authority, and working directly with you guys to bring on additional employees would help immensely.
Okay.
I'm sorry, if I may add to it. So I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Section 3 program for Housing Authority, but so Section 3 is basically it's telling HUD funded PHAs to try to funnel some of that money back into the residents. And Dawn Farr, when they completed their bid in the Section 3 plan, committed to interviewing and possibly hiring up to 50 current low-income residents through our Section 3 program, through our resident self-sufficiency department.
I definitely understand that. You stated that before. I know what Section 3 is. My question that I was going to say or ask is, have you ever hired any residents before? It seems as if you've already had this contract before now. This is an existing contract. Why have you hired any Section 3?
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Okay.
Over the years, we definitely have. It's just a matter of finding the right people to work with to kind of push these programs.
And do you
And
have
as long as we're continuing to work together, I think we can continue to have success with it. And it was, again, just because of our need for additional employees at this time, we really want to come and work with you guys to create a new aggressive plan that hopefully even works better. But yes, we have definitely hired and continue to, employ residents. We've been working with the Housing Authority for the City of Pittsburgh, I think. Brandy, you probably have the exact number, but it seems like over 15 years as well.
I love how people think that that's making them sound better when it, to us, it makes them sound.
Yeah, well, it's
So
a
I
little,
would be curious to know how many people you've hired in the past, and that's all I have to say. And what your plan is to hire this 50 that you that you aspire to hire. Like, I'd be really curious to know what that outreach plan looks like, and how do you think you're gonna reach that?
Sure.
So I can put you in contact with Lloyd Wilson here at the Housing Authority, who will work with them. He also tracks those numbers. Chuck, I don't know if you want to, if you want to send me your contact information, I'll be more than happy to get you in contact with Lloyd. He can try to pull some of that. He will also be working with Dawn Farr in working with those individuals. And I would say I think it has been a number of years they have worked with us, but I don't think we've had a contract since 2020 or 2022, because our services haven't been at that level. Not like we have now with some of the redevelopments that we're doing that require all these moves.
Well, the promise is good in terms of hiring these individuals. But Chuck, I was wondering whether you had any type of an independent tracking monitor so that you can see whether or not these things are actually come to fruition.
Right now, I have not tracked any of the previous folks that they have hired.
Why would you? Would that be part of your purview? No.
No, but,
That would be Lloyd.
but housing authority should know.
It should be.
It's not.
I have another question to, I can't see his name, from Metro Moving. You mentioned. Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Thomas. You mentioned subcontractor and you minority, I think you said women certified.
Yes, yes, it is.
I would like to see that as part of this proposal that is in front of us today. I am used to seeing a percentage of, or whether it be task oriented, if it's up to and not to exceed, or something like that. So my question is, if you can get a woman-owned minority subcontractor, why not Far Moving Company? How does that work? That you both are primes but you're looking for the subs.
If you don't mind, I would be happy to respond.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's my biggest concern as far as that is whenever we do local residential moving within the state of Pennsylvania, we are regulated by the Public Utility Commission. If the Public Utility Commission heard that we subbed out our work to another business, we would both be subjected to fines and regulations. We have to employ our own individuals, make sure our own individuals are background checked. If anybody is getting behind the wheel of a car, obviously we pulled, their driving history for us to simply go. And it was even included in the bid opportunity that the companies must be regulated within the Public Utility Commission. Subcontracting it out would be hiring a company who was not necessarily have that license to provide that service. So it would be illegal in the state of Pennsylvania.
Well, then why can he do it?
He's looking into it, but based on my knowledge of the rules and regulations, subcontracting that out would be hiring another company who does not have the license to provide moving services within the state.
But maybe they do.
Does that subcontractor that he's looking at, that woman-owned business, is she have certifications?
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. She has her own authorities. So
If she does, I'd be happy to work with her as well, if that's the case, for sure.
So then we can potentially give this woman-owned business even more out of this contract, is what you're saying.
I think you were asking the gentleman from Dawn Farr that question. I mean, I think he missed it.
Yeah,
I would be more than happy to look further into it. If everybody wanted to provide us information, I work very closely with the Public Utility Commission in Pennsylvania. So I could definitely take the time to look into this and find that information out for you guys, for sure.
well, then the recommendation of the Office of Business is to table this until next month. It's just my opinion that if there is opportunity for this woman-owned business, and just to suss out everything and see if she could be subbed from on both sides, both primes could use her as a subcontractor, then you guys should have more conversations together with each other and come back with better numbers. What do you guys think?
I totally agree with that. Totally.
I agree.
Okay, just go ahead.
Yeah, and when you do come back with those subs, I just pulled up the PUC's regulations with regard to household movers. Is that what you're talking about, sir?
Correct.
Okay, so when you come back with those subs, we need to know if they have the PUC license, proper insurance, so on and so forth. So let's make sure they have all of that. They're certified. And then I think we would then, have the information needed to determine this. But right now, we don't have the necessary information to even consider this right now.
True.
Thomas, do you have their PUC license?
I
We take this
It
offline,
is-
guys. I don't know.
yeah,
If
it's a-
I don't know if this commission needs to have our conversation. We'll do it offline.
Okay.
Do you need a motion? Motion to table it till next month.
Yeah, so I'm in agreement,
You want to make?
with our chair. I make a motion to table this until we get additional information regarding, a possible MW or WB subcontractor.
I second.
Okay, all those in favor indicate by raising your hand and saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thanks, guys. Just clean it up a little bit, please, and provide actual information. I know that, and Thomas, I know that it was, you came right up to the wire. These conversations were taking place this morning, so it's probably best that this was the motion that was passed.
Understood now.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for your time today, folks. Everybody have a good holiday.
Thank you,
You too.
Brandon.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Brandon, I'll be reaching out to you later today or tomorrow.
All right, sounds good, Chuck.
Thank
Take
you.
care, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, next on the agenda is Upasna updating us on the ITQ contracts.
Update. So we have, there were 5 work orders that were issued in the last month. 4 from Domi and 1 from DPW. So the first one here is inspection of non-NBIS bridges. The prime here is Michael Baker, and they have a sub-consultant, A&A Consultants, which is an MBE. The project cost here is 93,563, of which 9,145 goes to A&A. The second one here is a DPW project, is East Hills Park Improvements. The prime here is Ethos Collaborative, and they have 7 subs. Out of those 7, 2 are WBEs. 2 are MBEs, 1 is veteran-owned, and there are 2 non-NWBEs. And so this is how the work has been divided. There's going to be up studio landscape, which will help with the landscape architecture, Alan and Sheriff with MEP. Then there's help with survey, cost estimating, CCTV, flow monitoring, and civil engineering. And these are the amounts apportioned to each one of them. The total project cost here is 324,000. So moving to the next. The next one here is Domi. This is a change order. It's West End Trolley Trail Design Services. Prime here is Buckathon. And the project, the change order is for 130,555. There are 2 sub-consultants. One is Red Swing, which is veteran-owned, and French Engineering, which is a WBE. They'll be involved in survey, stormwater management, traffic engineering, and these are the amounts apportioned to each one of them. The next one here is project management support for traffic and planning assistance. The prime here is SP Thomas, which is a WBE, so 100% WBE plan. And the project cost here is 60,568. Last one here is engineering repairs for Shende Park Bridges. The prime here is Michael Baker International, and the project cost is 110,000. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Upasna.
Thank you, Upasna.
Thank you.
We'll move now to our office comments. The first one, we would like to welcome our new commissioner, Ron Porter. Thank you. Thank you, Ron Porter. The second thing I'm going to talk to you guys about, we are going to start presenting you with companies that do not meet our requirements, or I should say, skip out on paying their subs. Okay? The first company I'm gonna bring to you guys is Allegheny General Electric. Okay? I'm gonna start sending you guys that information. They did not pay a sub $70,000. Okay?
Did the sub did the work? Or they never even brought them on?
They never brought them on.
Oh, so they tried to pass through them.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're gonna start having letters. Darius will explain that a little bit more right now, how we're gonna start putting them out there so you guys can start making recommendations to do sanctions.
Okay.
So, from the briefings that Felicity did in the group briefings that Felicity did last month, one of the things that we did talk about, one of the powers of the ERC is those sanctions. So, starting this meeting and moving forward, Chuck is going to be presenting those contract violations where a sub did do work and was not paid from the sub, or in this instance where there was a pass through. So it'll be on you all to make that vote, make that motion of, do we do an alert? Do we do a violation? And then that third step is that sanction and what sanction that should be, based off the city code. We cannot enforce sanctions at this time, because we need to go through the security study process.
Right.
But that's coming online next year, so super excited for that. And we'll be beginning that study in January 2025. But once we get through that study, we'll be able to enforce those sanctions. But now, getting that communication out to those prime vendors who are violating these payments, saying, hey, we know you have not paid your sub, but we can do some outreach and communication and getting better practice from our primes to make sure our subs are being paid on time and for the work that they.
Release the subs too.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Just historically, like 10 years ago, is it possible that people have been in violation
Oh, for sure.
consistently?
Yeah.
And when the commission becomes aware of it in the past, that it's just like, oops.
So historically, so I would say sanctions have never, from the ERC, have never been imposed. So this is a whole new thing. So the city hasn't had a disparity study to actually enforce these things, and the Office of Diversity never had the backing from the law department to enforce these things in multiple decades. So this is something that is going to be the first going into, once we actually implement these sanctions in 2026. So this will be a first with a whole new disparity study that hasn't happened in 2 decades, and finally having the backing from law to actually do this. So this was never brought to the attention of the commission before. So we are now bringing it to the attention of the commission so we can have the commission activated at its full power.
So it will be up to the commission for us to decide what, if we just want to convey a warning, or we're going to go right to the sanction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this will also give those companies out there a heads up of what's coming down the pipe, so they can get their.
Yeah, put them on notice.
Yes.
This is now being tracked.
Yeah.
You're gonna be held accountable. Same with subs that take it, let them put them on the plan and then not actually have to do the work.
Exactly.
I just had a question with regard to the warning. Is it gonna be an education, re-education? Like what does it look like?
Yeah. So once we get through the disparity study, it's definitely going to be like a education associated with it. So we haven't figured out what that education will look like at this time. But we came up with like some template language right now to say like, hey, in our compliance review of your contract knows you haven't paid your sub. The sub is saying they completed the work and have not received payment. Just want to confirm that is, yeah.
We're still recording.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just like, very template language of like saying, not accusing the prime right off the bat of saying, hey, you didn't pay your sub, now you need to pay them. Just trying to get the story straight of, did the sub actually complete this work? We having some wires crossed here, so how can we mediate this situation? If that's to no avail, or they say, yeah, the sub did complete this work, and we will pay them by Friday, and the sub never gets that payment, or the situation is never mediated, then we'll go to the next step of, okay, you said you're going to do this, you didn't do it. Now you're already in contract violation. And now we're going to impose sanctions that the commission has decided to.
So moving forward, these may be companies that have been out of compliance for quite a while, but we will not have that history to go from warning to an actual sanction because we're starting today.
Yeah,
But
so
I'm going back.
Okay.
I'm going all the way back to 15.
That would be great, Because if these are companies who have history,
Yes.
so why not, we don't want to smack, oh, we're sorry, we'll pay them, but however, you're always out of compliance
Yes.
knowingly.
I'm going back to 15.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Great.
all active contracts that have came before you all.
Okay,
We're going through the process now,
Beautiful.
looking at them, see who's in
Love
compliance
it.
and who's not.
And
And
we also
we'll
have-
talk more about what that process looks like for you as commissioners. So you all are comfortable with that process as well.
Will there be an opportunity for an appeal? And you come to me and say, you know, you haven't done this, that, and the other thing, and I say I have.
Yes, we're going to do
So
that.
there would be an opportunity for an appeal. I don't know if this group would be hearing that, or it's done on the side or something, but.
What we're going to do first is through our system is give them an alert. They'll get an alert first.
I think through, to Chuck's point, that initial alert, like saying, hey, we got word that you haven't paid the sub. And they can say, no, we actually did. Here's the paperwork associated with that.
Right.
To your point, that is like the form of the appeal.
Yeah.
And Chuck can update you at the
With
commission.
something in the verbaage, you know, if you
Yeah.
disagree
Yeah,
with this, then you
Yeah.
need to contact.
yeah, just contact the sub, send us the,
Sub and
the invoice that you
times,
paid.
both of them.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
we do an audit, Daniel. That's Daniel's job. He does an audit once a month.
Daniel's like,
Right, and if there's a discrepancy, right, in the payment and the invoice, Daniel calls both the prime and the sub that day to make sure who's right, who's wrong.
okay,
And if it's a big discrepancy, we'll send them an alert. There's an alert in our system.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
that's what
Chuck
I'm
does,
saying.
I sat on many calls with Chuck where he's on the call with the prime and the sub, trying to make sure the conversation happens together to make sure there is some mediation and resolution in that.
Yeah, and, you know, document, well, of course that, but I just think that the appeal process, and like you said, due process is, part of that whole procedure. You know, if I'm gonna
Absolutely,
accuse you, or I'm gonna tell you, I found you out,
Yeah.
Right.
then I should be able to say, no, that's not how it went down.
Yeah,
Or,
absolutely.
okay,
Right.
yeah, you caught me.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
So just to be clear, you already sending alerts?
I already sent one. I only did the one, Allegheny Jump.
Oh, you sent that one, okay.
But I can send alerts to anybody at any time. And that will be when I get information from Daniel saying something is different.
And this will be on a more routine basis.
So,
And I guess I want more clarity, at what point will the commission be involved to actually issue?
every month, once this starts, I'm gonna bring you an update.
Notifies of the alerts.
Every month, I'm gonna have an update for you.
It'll be a regular agenda
It
item.
would be
The
a
same way
regular-
you all vote on the plans, you'll vote on the sanctions.
But the sanction that is actually in the legislation that the commission has the authority to issue, at what point does that occur, I guess is what I'm asking.
So-
Probably 2 years.
Yeah.
Once we get through a
Yeah,
disparity
after-
study, we get recommendations. We have to complete the disparity study, which is gonna take about 18 months,
Yeah,
and then we have to.
so we're looking at summer 2026.
But I'll have a track record of the
Yes.
companies like you said.
It's other, we have
so we
contract
have
remedies.
history,
That's-
when we're ready to go, we already know.
Yeah.
Who has.
And you guys will have, we do already have contract remedies, but the way that we're approaching this is not from like, this is actually the, I wanna say, this is the creative solution we have found. We are not holding you accountable to hitting the participation goals. Instead, we're saying we reasonably relied on your bid of what you said you were going to do. And so therefore, we're holding you contractually accountable to the bid that you submitted. So that's our.
And that you got approval on, right?
Yeah, right.
Correct. That's our workaround. So we can't hold you accountable to not hitting the goals. What we can hold you accountable to is what you submitted in your bid and what was then contracted for. And we have contractual remedies.
Mm.
That's kind of the workaround I found.
And that was the last thing from our office. Now, is there anything from you guys that you would like to say for us from the commission?
Happy to meet everybody face to face.
Yes.
Touchy feely.
I'd also like to make mention that the EORC Chuck received an award. Do you want to talk a little bit about the award?
Oh, thank you. Our team, our whole team received a award from the Business Alliance on us working with the elders.
Oh, nice.
And it was, our whole, it was a. And, I did mention the commission, because you're part of our team. I did mention the commissioners, you're part of our team, and I thank everybody, because it's a team effort. I'm not doing anything by myself, so it was good, it was really.
Nice,
good.
congrats.
Dr. Cosner were there
Yes,
too.
it was really nice. Okay, can, Commission Chair, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Yeah. Somebody else makes it. I'm motion to adjourn.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, meeting adjourned.